Good afternoon and welcome to Radio Masti's Cricket Corner. We are looking at the Champions Trophy, which is being played in Pakistan and Dubai. And this afternoon, in a few hours' time, we'll have the first semi-final, India taking on Australia in Dubai. So both the teams have played convincingly so far. India, of course, playing all their matches in Dubai and have scored convincing wins. And so the talk has really been basically about India having an unfair advantage. While they played all their matches in Dubai, they know the conditions well, while the other teams have had to play their matches in Pakistan, basically in Lahore, Rawalpindi, and Karachi. So the question is India having an unfair advantage? Of course, this point was raised earlier, and the ICC had decided that India would play their matches in Dubai. The other teams have to travel a little bit here from Pakistan to Dubai, and also internally in Pakistan, while India have had a lot of rest and practice sessions and all the matches in Dubai. So now for teams and experts to be calling it an unfair advantage, is it really right? And what do you think, Neil, is really the situation?
Yes, there's been a lot of chatter along the wires and other media, but here's my take on it. Let's just look at the World Cup ODI in India. No one talked about India traveling to various cities for their 9 straight wins leading up to the Ahmedabad final. So, let's have some apples and oranges and a fair balance. The other thing is they only had 3 matches, Santosh. It's not as though they had a whole month full of practice. So the advantage, if anything, is thin. I do grant you that travel sometimes in the subcontinent can be a challenge. I also grant the fact that they had a little bit more practice, but let's not forget that each match has been on a different track. So it's not as though they're playing on the same track. And yes, wickets have got slower. Wickets have started to spin a bit more, which may play marginally in India's favor. But I think on the day, we've got to look at the composition of the sides and who brings their big game. I mean, we talk about, big names and big games, they're big claims, but at the end of the day, what happens on the day, and can India, for that matter, put behind their last head-to-head clash, which was the debacle in Ahmedabad? There are 2 outcomes here. Either they put it behind and produce a great game, or once again, that comes back to home test. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, if you have seen in the matches in the Champions Trophy so far, there doesn't seem to be much difference in the pitches, what we have seen in Pakistan and what's been in Dubai. So, turning this as an unfair advantage to India, so it doesn't seem to be really right. Jitesh, what's your take on that?
I mean, my take is very simple. That's how everybody's marriage is also. Whether you have advantage or not advantage, you still need to be in the marriage, right? And compromise. I mean, on a serious note, I think these all talks are baseless. I have been following social media and also some news channels. The most of the discussions are coming from Pakistan and England. Both of the countries, how they perform. They have lost all their games. They are bottom of their table. So they don't have anything else but to crib about, unfair advantage and all those stuff. I mean, come on, let's move from it. There is no unfair advantage. And even if it is, all boards were invited at the planning stage of this entire Champions Trophy, where India denied to travel to Pakistan. That time they could have, opted for not playing India in this tournament at all. Everybody talks about India, Pakistan, India, the number 1 team right now. And they had no option but to host India in this tournament. And the best model was hybrid one, which was Dubai. And let's not forget, 10 to 12 years of cricket, home cricket of Pakistan was based in Dubai, same ground. So it cannot be undue advantage to us. It is undue advantage. Not for any of the teams, because you are coming there, you are playing a game of cricket. Irrespective of the pitch, you need to come prepared. You need to analyze the overall, factors which will drive the success of a team. And India, from that perspective, has taken an advantage because their planning was thorough. everybody was talking about why they are bringing five spinners, blah blah, and all those stuff. Why Varun Chakravarti has not been played in
Yeah.
first two ODIs? Come on, guys. Now you see, right, why Varun Chakravarti was not played because of the opponents. The moment they had a strong side of New Zealand, who are doing really well in Pakistan home tri series and all the stuff, and plus that 3-0 whitewash they gave, they brought in the mystery spinner and they played four spinners, and rest is history. If you remember
Yeah.
last talk show, we were also talking about, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So India playing really solid cricket, as we have seen beat Pakistan, Bangladesh, and New Zealand quite by a handsome margin. And the team looks very solid. But unfortunately, a few days ago, the Congress spokesperson, Shama Mohammed, made a comment about Rohit Sharma's being a bit unfit, a bit fat, and also the fact that he's not been a very inspirational captain. But that doesn't, in a way, I think it shouldn't really affect the Indian team at all. I think being professional cricketers, such comments are not they wouldn't take it too seriously. I think Rohit, of course, is not having a very good time with the bat, but big score is due from him. And as far as the team is concerned, I think his captaincy has been good so far. Neil?
Yeah, I think look, he may have put on a bit of weight over the past few years, but that hasn't stopped his basic contribution, which is a very powerful contribution during the power play. And he comes in, he scores runs, he's able to maximize and get India off to a good start. So whether he's got a bulge at the waistline or not, I think is somewhat irrelevant to his contribution, relative to his contribution.
Yep.
Jitesh, anything you would like to add to that?
Again, this is all funny and baseless. I mean, if the guy is not fit, he will not qualify to be in the playing 11 or playing 15 squad at international level, irrespective. We are playing a professional cricket. This is a professional team, and we have a very strong, and I think the strongest board in the world. These things are the basics that he's fit. That's why he's playing. And don't forget, that guy is playing as an opener, facing those 150, 140 plus bowling, so he cannot be unfit. I mean, also in the past, you see, right? I mean, you have legends like Rana Tunga who won you the World Cup 1996. Was he slim trim? No, he had this. He has in fact he was more fatter, if I say that word, than compared to what Rohit Sharma is there. You have David Boone. He's the legend of Australian cricket. Did you see a slim version of David Boone? Never.
Yeah.
In fact, Pakistan.
Or Inzamam.
Yes,
Inzamam.
Exactly.
Pakistan 2 years back, they were backing their keeper called Azam Khan, who is two and a half times of Rohit Sharma in size. I mean, West Indies is playing Raheem Cornwell as a big giant of Test cricket that he's playing as a spinner and a batter. I mean, all this again. This is what happens when you have success. You will always get these kind of derogatory statements, and you just need to ignore, move on. India is doing what they are supposed to do, even if they are fat or unfit. If they are at what stage that you see them, let it be. And last thing, might be Rohit Sharma's wife is a very good cook.
So yeah, we have decided that we are not going to drop Rohit Sharma or change the captaincy. So the question is the Indian team composition, whether they will go for with four spinners. As we saw in the last match, Varun Chakravarti came good. He bowled really well, got India back into that match against New Zealand, claimed those crucial wickets, put pressure on New Zealand, and all the other spinners also chipped in. And as we have seen in Dubai, the pitch tends to favor the spinners more. We have seen the taller fast bowlers getting more bounce and movement, but otherwise it's been the spinners who have been doing well. And Indian spinners particularly are bowling well, and also in the middle overs they have managed to keep a check on the runs, bowling tight. And the question is whether Varun Chakravarti have another spinner who's capable of taking wickets like Kuldeep Yadav. The two of them are wicket-taking spinners. And then you also have the backup of, there you see some of the figures of Varun Chakravarti has done well against South Africa, against England, and against New Zealand, 5 for 42, as we saw in the last match. So my feeling is that India should go with 4 spinners, should play Varun Chakravarti, and of course we have Shami and Hardik to take care of the new ball. And Shami, not too sure whether he's fully fit, because even in the last match we didn't see him going really all out. But against Australia, I'm sure he will lift his game. And Neil, what do you think about this composition? India should go with 4 spinners or not?
I think, as I said earlier, Santosh, wickets have started spinning more. Wickets are playing slower. And Chakravarti's success is one thing. But over and above that, I think he's a surprise factor. He's the mystery bowler. And whilst Australian players who played him in the IPL, a lot of them are missing. Whether you talk about Cameron Green, the 3 pace bowlers, Stoinis, these were all players who may have faced him in the IPL.
I think only Steve Smith and really Travis Head in this current team have really faced him.
Correct. So he's a bit of a mystery quotient out there. And I think he's going to have a huge impact. So playing 4 spinners, I think to your earlier point, Santosh, both Patel and Jadeja are going to be economical, as they always are. And we've got 2 attacking options.
So, Jitesh, what about India's pace attack? Do you think they need to bring in one more pace bowler, Arshdeep Singh, or bring back Harshit Rana, or go with 4 spinners?
Yeah, before I go into the Pacers, I think just reviewing the last 3 games of the spinners, I mean, it will be unfair if we don't talk about this. I mean, Kuldeep and Jadeja and Akshar, building that pressure through which Varun Chakravarti is getting those wickets because of the mystery spin, right? So, see, Pakistan also had a mystery spinner, Abrar. 10 overs, 28. Nothing magic worked, right? Because it's all about the partnership that you have as batting, as bowling as well. So India's partnership as a bowling unit specifically for spinners is working wonders. And that will continue in today's game. And I don't think so you will see Harshit Rana back. I think they will continue with the 4 pace spinners. And also, let's not forget about those Shreyas, Akshar Patels and Hardik, contribution with the bat in the last game. And that is where it brings to me that question that you asked about the Pacers. Why I brought Akshar and Hardik's runs in the last game is because it's not about they are giving those runs, but Hardik give them that opportunity to only play with 2 pacers with the new ball, bowl those 8 to 9 overs with Shami and Hardik. Even if they are not in form or in pressure, Hardik gives you a wicket every power play, right? Then it gives you a 40 overs of spin on this slow wicket, which Neil was talking about, is not easy to bat. Come what may, whatever form of life you are. And I want to see how Head bats with this, Travis Head bat with this spinning attack today. So, Pacers, Shami coming from the injury, and then Hardik doing his bit. I think that's fine, because we have a world-class spinning attack with the 4 spinners as of today in this match. And I think we have a viewer's question as well. I think it is related to this. The question is, given Travis Head's history of impactful performances against India in crucial matches, what strategies can India bowlers employ to neutralize his threat early in the innings?
I think we'll come back to that after a short break. We'll take a break now and come back to answer this question and how the Australian batters will square up against the Indian spinners.
बदल गया
सच्ची बदल गया दिखाओ दिखाओ मुझे भी चाहिए आंखों की एक्सपीरियंस से लेकर दिल की धड़कन तक सब बदल गया Your favorite Radio Masti 24/7 app just got a major makeover. Super quick interactions and easy peasy lemon squeezy user interface. Chat room to gossip and audio and video on demand. Even better sound quality. और भी बहुत कुछ, पर हम क्या बताएं? खुद देख लो. ऐप का काम हो गया. अब आपकी बारी है. तो इंतजार किस बात का? Tap 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 your way to the App Store या Play Store and tune into the vibe with Radio Masti 24/7 app now. It's free, it's here, and it's yours to be.
Radio Masti 24/7, Southeast Asia's only live Bollywood radio station.
Stay tuned.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
So if India win the toss, the plan should be to bowl first because Australia can be dangerous chasing, particularly with Travis Head there at the top of the order. He seems to relish Indian bowling and he's an aggressive batter and he will go all out and he knows how to play his shots during the power play. So it'll be a question of how initially the Indian medium pacers bowl to him, and then of course how they're going to bowl, the spinners are going to bowl to Travis Head. Travis Head being a left-hander, and he knows he'll be facing 3 left-arm spinners in the Indian lineup. So it's going to be a very interesting challenge, and it's not going to be easy for Travis Head to play his shots. So whether he's going to curb himself a little bit and play a long innings, or whether he's going to play a natural game, that is going to be most vital. Neil, how do you see Travis Head tackling the spinners?
Sure. I mean, before we talk about Travis Head tackling the spinners, I think we should focus on what might be a slight vulnerability with Travis Head. And that is when he comes in early on in his innings, he's a bit vulnerable against the short ball. And I don't think even in the test series, we exploited that weakness to the full extent. So my personal take is Hardik Pandya has a very good bouncer. He's also got a slower short delivery. I have a feeling that Hardik against Travis, that face-off is going to be very interesting. And if we make that dent, it's going to really have a great impact when the spinners come on. So that's my take, Santosh.
And Jitesh, of course, Australia too have Josh English, and who's been batting very well, and of course Glenn Maxwell, who's also explosive. So these batters are going to be crucial for them. And if they get off to a flyer, for sure the Indian spinners will have to be on top of the game. So how do you see that matchup coming out?
Yep. So continuing from what Neil just said, I also agree. With Head at the start, you have to attack early and get his wicket. Otherwise, once he settles down, it's up to him when he gives his wicket. So swing, be outside off stump, short pitch delivery, mix with slowers. Hardik is doing that. I think he will. I hope he gets that wicket. But again, for English and for Maxwell, right? That means we are going into the middle order when the spin comes in. So then your wrist spinner comes in as handy because these two batters have not played that much wrist spin on a slow track like Dubai. So you'll have more chances with the wrist spinners of Kuldeep, which I think will be crucial for English and Maxwell. And again, Maxwell also has the same characteristics as you talk about Head, because he is also not good with short ball deliveries and the ball swinging outside to him. So I think if he comes in, first 10 balls, India should, Rohit Sharma should bring in Shami and Hardik for the second spell and then see how it goes and then continue with his spin. So I think in and all, as I said, right, spinners are the key. But if you get Head before the power play gets over, I think then it will not be a huge score. And I think India should bat first, build that pressure of runs, and then utilize their spinners, because dew is not coming. We have seen in all the games. So it is advantage India if we bat first. But again, I want to say this, and I don't want to jinx it, but knockouts, Australia, ICC trophies, I mean, it's they are devils of that. So I fingers crossed. I hope we execute our plans and no English, no Hindi, nothing works today.
So, as we have seen, yeah, what Jitesh just said now in ICC trophies since in the knockout stage of the ICC trophy since 2010, India have beaten Australia just once in 4 matches. So, Australia always a force to reckon with in the knockout stages of any tournament. They always play really well. And then, as we saw, the 4 semi-finalists, as we see, the same ones which played in 2015 World Cup, they also playing in the semi-finals in this Champions Trophy. India versus Australia today and tomorrow. New Zealand taking on South Africa, but India would prefer a different outcome this time. And if you see the batting, as we saw in the last match against New Zealand, much more depth in the Indian batting. Shreyas Iyer has been batting quite well. It's quite solid. There's also Akshar Patel, Hardik Pandya, and Jadeja there who can show up. The same thing cannot be said of the Australian batting, though there's Steve Smith and Manas to show things up. But it's largely players who like to play the shots, which are going to be crucial for them and how they pull it off. And Steve Smith and, of course, Manas like to take their time to build their innings, but they both are solid batters. So the question here is largely about, I think, the bowling which will be on top, which team will be on top. If you see the Australian spin attack, not really that strong, Adam Zampa, and whether they will bring in Tanvir Sangha in place of Spencer Johnson is a question which the management, the team will take today. So, Neil, do you think they need to strengthen the spin bowling a little bit? And also Glenn Maxwell, but given the conditions, I think the medium pacers are there, but it's the spinners who could really be calling the shots.
I think you have a great point there. And let's not forget, Santosh, that our man Matthew Short is injured. So he won't be playing. So what are the options? And they're looking at two options, as if the media is to be believed. They're looking at Fraser McGurk, whom we've seen in the series in Australia, and of course in IPL, playing for Delhi Capitals. But we've also got Cooper Conway. So Cooper Conway, he is a spinner. So to your point, would it be Zampa, their mainstay, Maxwell, who can produce the surprise? And although I have not seen much of Cooper Conway playing or bowling, I believe he could be another third spinner.
Yeah, Jite, do you think they'll bring in Tanvir Sangha and drop one of the pace bowlers?
I think they will try to bring the spinner, whether it is Sangha or Conley, that depends on them, because they don't have Aqib Javed as head coach who just blabber about, I brought pace bowlers and I'll continue to do that. Let's not forget, this is first game of Australia in Dubai. Till now they have played in Pakistan, and Pakistan, they have went ahead with the pacers that they brought in, because Pakistan pitches were batting pitches. You have big scores. You saw what they did to England, right? And then Afghanistan also, they were chasing. They were well ahead of the run chase. Now they are playing in Dubai, and I just want to take a minute. As a cricketer, we should always know there is something called a muscle memory. Whether you bat, whether you ball, whether you field, how you develop muscle memory is you practice those again and again. Australia in 2015, when I was not this bald, 10 years back, that time it was all Australian pitches. Now we are talking about India versus Australia in Dubai, where all their batters, except for Steve Smith, they love to play their shots on the rise. That means the ball is coming to the bat. It is not going to happen today. With the pace attack also, it's not going to come to your bat. So it is advantage India. Inexperience of Australia is going to play on their mind. They'll also be very vulnerable today. And I think, this thing won't matter as per se. I would suggest that they should play extra spinner. But with the way Spencer Johnson and the Dwavis guy bowled last game, I don't think so. They will look for that change. But it is advantage India only if they don't do that. So I think we have another question, the last question for the day. It says, does India's experience in Dubai give them an edge over Australia?
Neil, you want to answer that?
I think we tackled this somewhat in the first
Yeah,
section.
we did talk about this earlier, yeah.
But we can just for the benefit of the person who's asked the question, there is a slim advantage just in terms of, the aggravation around travel time. This has not been a one-match build-up to the knockout stage. So I think too much has been made by the losing sides on this factor that India has an unfair advantage. This was all done and dusted well before the tournament timetable was put together. So I don't think we need to dwell too much. It's a question more of who brings their A game on the day. And we know Australia can do that. We're certainly hoping India will avenge what happened in Ahmedabad last year. Okay, so
and Australia will not be cribbing about traveling time. If you want to travel from Melbourne to Perth, it takes double the time from Dubai to Lahore. So
well said.
So it's not about that.
Yeah, but they both teams travel. That would be my only comment. Both teams travel and both teams travel back. So
no, if anything, what the two teams will have to look forward to is the dry conditions. I think it's been pretty dry, the conditions in Dubai, and also the pitch. And as we saw in the match against New Zealand, the ball initially has been stopping a bit and coming. And Rohit, of course, played that shot a bit too early and then got caught. And then similar thing with Gill also. I think he was trying to play that shot and then missed it on the middle and leg stump. So these are the conditions which the teams have to look. It'll be dry, and also the fact that you cannot freely play your shots. It's the you have to wait and watch, gauge the bounce, the pace, the wicket, and then with the spinners coming out, of course there will be some turn. And as we saw, Varun Chakravarti getting some turn, the spinners getting some turn. So, and we have also seen that Adam Zampa has been crucial bowling the 10 overs for Australia also in the World Cup 2023 against India. He did bowl his 10 overs quite well. So these are the conditions the batters will have to look out for and build their innings slowly. And a good. What do you think is going to be a good target for the team batting first? Should they put up 300 or more than 300 on this pitch?
Anything above 250 is a defendable score here.
Okay.
Yeah, Santosh, let's not forget that 300 has been achieved only about 4 times or 3 or 4 times for sides going in first.
So I think the average is about 260 or something in Dubai, I think. So that will be the score the team batting first will look
and
for.
One more thing, Santosh and Neil, I just wanted to understand, what is your view on the other semi-final? Who do you see?
Yeah, we'll come to that. So all on the line today, the match between the first semi-final between Australia and India going to start in Dubai in a few hours' time. So tomorrow, the other two teams, New Zealand and South Africa, will be playing. New Zealand looks solid. South Africa looks solid. And it could go either way. And given the conditions in Lahore, Neil, what's your take? Who's gonna really prevail in that game?
So it's very interesting. You've got some good batting, especially the openers, Ron Rickleston, and then Klaassen's back. And Klaassen's a great player of spin and equally pace. So I think Markham's also come to the party. So batting, I think they're doing well. Miller is always, that X factor on their side. And all their fast bowlers have delivered, including, Rabada and Marco Jansen has also delivered. So I think on paper, South Africa looks to have a bit of an edge. Although, New Zealand, as we say, until they met their match in India, were also playing very well.
So, Neil and Santosh, what's your prediction about who will be in the finals?
I think New Zealand looks solid to me. It's a solid team under Santner. They seem to have covered all the bases. Other finalists, India, of course.
Neil?
Go India. We've got to go with that. Heart and
Nitesh,
my take is South Africa. Although they're big chokers, maybe they will get to the final and then they'll choke.
My pick is also India versus South Africa, because New Zealand is coming from a defeat, so South Africa holds the edge. And I again want to see the last year World Cup final, and not because this time Sky is not there, so you will not get those catches in the last over. So I think they will handsomely win, and then Sky is the limit for us, and we will come as winner for Champions Trophy 2025.
Fabulous.
So let's look forward to two exciting semi-finals, and then, of course, the final on Sunday. Let's all enjoy some good cricket. So thanks for watching our show, and looking forward to catching up with you before the final.
Go India!
Go India!
Thank you.
वो बदल गया.
सच्ची बदल गया? दिखाओ दिखाओ, मुझे भी चाहिए. आंखों की एक्सपीरियंस से लेकर दिल की धड़कन तक सब बदल गया. Your favorite Radio Masti 24/7 app just got a major makeover. Super quick interactions and easy peasy lemon squeezy user interface. Chat room to gossip and audio and video on demand. Even